So Ethereum in 2032, you have a node. Your node runs on your phone. Every 12 seconds or 32 seconds or whatever number we agree on, you download 3.6 megabytes of data. You hash it. You do a couple of elliptic curve equations to check a snark. That's it. You know the block is valid. Wait 12 seconds, get 33.6 megabytes of data, hash it, do some elliptic curve operations, verify the snark, and valid. 12 seconds later, data, hash, elliptic curve check, valid, right? So from the point of, like, the whole process just becomes incredibly sleek and seamless to the point where, like, literally a phone could even do it, right? Because it's incredibly light on computation. The only thing that it's heavy on is data, and data just happens to be the thing that, you know, phones are increasingly getting insanely good at and will get even better at over the next
What we're talking about is the trilemma unsolved. So before Kaspa came around, these cryptos, they needed to come up with a use case that could even get close to competing with Visa. Visa can do 100,000 transactions per second. Now, the TPS of a regular crypto is based on blocks per second and block size. This is how we start to calculate the TPS, transactions per second. Now, in a normal cryptocurrency, let's say that they can do 100 transactions per second. That's pretty fast, but it's not 100,000 fast. What they do now is they start creating a layer 2. So this one transaction of the 100 that are going through per second is actually off-chain, and they're calculating 100 more transactions, verifying they're all good, and then sending that back through as one transaction, thus packaging 100 transactions into one. This is making cryptocurrencies extremely faster. This is layer 2s. Kaspa, the reason why there's kind of this mysterious vibe around their smart contracts and their layer 2s is once Kaspa starts adding ZK-rollup technology and layer 2 technology to its already trilemma solved speed and scalability capabilities, it's going to go off the roof. We're talking light speed, like faster than XRP, faster than ADA, with the incorporation of ZK-rollups onto their already lightning fast blockchain. When you're going down this road of information and you're learning, you're going to notice that there's 2 other methods that they're using instead of these ZK-rollups to help package data and get everything moving faster. A way to bypass the trilemma not being solved yet. There's what ICP does, which is called child chains. They just start making a bunch of smaller layer 2s to handle all of these transactions, compacting them in and then feeding them into the main parent chain. This helps speed things up. But they also do what's called optimistic chains. This is basically like they're just fronting the information. They're just saying, yeah, we'll automatically assume everything's correct without double checking it, going through the entire process. And then once something finally does go wrong, those node validators are slashed. The founder of Ethereum thinks that this optimistic narrative and all the technology behind it isn't really that good, and it's something that they're just using like duct taping around a leaky pipe faucet just so they can get through the night without hearing the drip constantly go through. They believe there's going to be much better solutions, which means during the peak of the 2025 bull market, we might very well have some great short trade investments for the way back down. Speaking of charting, we can see Kaspa has stopped directly on this origin trend line. When we clone that trend line, it's actually the exact bottom of the cup and handle, which originated off of this miniature spike in November before the April spike, before the cup and handle even appeared. We can also see this x-axis resistance origin trend line, which is helping make these symmetrical triangle miniature like bull flag type of patterns. If we clone this trend line and bring it back, it's the exact trend line that was guiding this falling wedge that we recently had off the November breakout, and the handle on the cup and handle also off of April's symmetrical triangle, it's the exact trend line that led us down to the basin of the depths of the cup. So this is a repeating trend line happening over and over again, a lot like the support off the bottom of the cup. As you can see, the November breakout stopped exactly on this purple trend line, and it's where we're stopping right now. We should get a few days of resistance right here until we finally break to the upside. Then we're going to have a massive amount of runway. The next time we'll run into resistance will be in between this blue and gray zone, right around 20 cents. After that, we're all the way up above 25 cents, and then our final resistance level until we meet the 3.168. This is our notorious second to last x-axis Fibonacci pitch. It was the handle of the cup. It was also the falling wedge in the last two x-axis Fibonacci pitches. This is all the way in the mid 30-cent range. This is when the momentum off this Kaspa breakout should really start to cool off, and we start to get a bit of a sell-off and some downside on the chart. This is an entirely new technical analysis system that works across every cryptocurrency from Bitcoin, Solana to Ethereum. There are repeating trend lines happening over and over again. We have the entire system, how to set up your charts. Originally, Kaspa was a technical analysis trade for me. I purchased it based off of this staircase pattern that we can see right here. I'll show you guys a quick flashback from the summer.
On the one-day chart is the Chenking's oscillator just got above the halfway point. And recently we can see we've been moving sideways because it's just been barely level with it. But now it's starting to get really beefy. So ideally on the one-day chart, this is what the most beautiful dream setup would look like. The stochastics checks back, and ideally it would check back sharp all the way down to the baseline. And when it hits the bottom right here, the Chenking's oscillator will still have a lot of gas in the fuel. So ideally it will still be well above this halfway.
That was an example of how oscillators can provide so much insight. We just recently had a very similar staircase pattern right here at the bottom of the falling wedge. Monster breakout right there. Included in the Patreon with all this technical analysis, you get the 24-point checklist, which includes a list of 30 top VCs. We're using that right now to run searches with one of our search tools, and we actually found that we have two matches with popular content creators. Heroes of Mavia was recently released game. We might have missed the low-end entry, which was about 45 days ago, but Alex Becker had been releasing this inside of his group on Twitter. And we are able to find the same pick using our 30 VCs. We've got a list of some great projects that just recently got listed, some with AI narratives, some with this ZK-rollup narrative. Some are even new proof of works that are still micro cap. Very interesting stuff. We're starting to brainstorm once Kaspa finally gets listed on Coinbase and Binance. Being a Kaspa maxi, then we may very well start to diversify into some other coins, some possible entries, and brainstorming how to put together these search to find them for this summer's next release of new listing cryptos. Thanks for checking out this video, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.